Hello. We are in a profession in which we leave behind a large number of clues in regard to who we are and what we do. We produce a lot of work. We interact with many people. We make choices every day. Pieced together over time, these clues become our reputations. This is especially true for men and women in leadership positions, as their decisions reverberate throughout their organizations and their behavior is studied by everyone around them. Building a positive reputation when dealing daily with high-profile companies, brands, and issues is a notable feat. Building a reputation for consistent integrity and excellence over 4 decades is a remarkable one that deserves acknowledgement. This brings us to Andy Polansky, the CEO of IPG DXTRA and executive chairman of Weber Shandwick, who has been at the forefront of our industry for decades. Andy is a proud graduate of the College of New Jersey and sits on the board of its foundation. He started out as a reporter at 3 different newspapers in New Jersey. Then in 1983, he joined the firm known today as Weber Shandwick, and he never left. Over nearly 40 years, Andy helped to grow Weber Shandwick into one of the largest and best public relations agencies in the world. According to many, his leadership style always focused on people and values, collaboration and direct communications. In a profession where people move from job to job frequently, Andy's long and loyal career at just one agency is rare. At this event, the focus is on communicating with integrity. Many of us find this challenging to do in our own work. Imagine how much more daunting it is to promote integrity in a global organization working for hundreds of clients around the world, trying to ensure that every claim is truthful, every statement is accurate, and that deeds are consistent with words. By all accounts, Andy has done better than most at meeting this challenge, while remaining one of the most likable people in our industry. Now let's take a moment to hear from some of Andy's acquaintances.
When I think about words that describe Andy, I think about kindness, I think about smart, I think about him being adept, humble, warm, and deeply interested in human beings and interested in the experience.
For me, there's not a singular moment of integrity. It's all the moments of Andy are integrity. It is his DNA. It's who he is. It's how he lives. It's how he works. It is just him. It is the definition of him, for sure.
Meetings, Andy made sure that we always understood that it was most important that everybody who worked with us, everybody we represented, we would always be able to be honest, candid, transparent.
When he was reflecting and seeking our advice on what to do about the pandemic, he always wanted to put what was right for our people at the center of his decisions. The conversation about what was right for the business was, of course, always lingering, but no matter what decisions we had to make for the business, he always wanted to do what was right for our people.
Andy, singularly, spectacularly devoted to making a difference for colleagues and clients, always.
The things Andy has accomplished in his time, the legacy he leaves behind, perhaps the most important one is the rules he set forth, the goals he established for us, and the fact that first and foremost, they always made sure that we focused on the issue of integrity in everything we did. Congratulations, Andy.
Wow. Well, Andy, congratulations on receiving the Larry Foster Award for Integrity in Communications.
John, thank you so much for that kind introduction. I'm proud to be following in your footsteps and receiving this recognition. So thankful to Bill Nielsen and the Page Center board for this prestigious award, and humbled to be in the company of Christian and Ken. I've long admired their work in journalism and business. I've been truly blessed over these past 38 years to work with some of the best and brightest people in the communications profession. And together with my close partners at Weber Shandwick, including Gail Heimann and Harris Diamond, Jack Leslie, Laura Schoen, Abby Gold, Kathy Calhoun, Susan Howe, so many others, we always strive to build a firm that our people feel terrific to work at, and just so that always does the right thing, for our people and for our clients. I also want to thank my colleagues at IPG DXTRA. We've been through a lot these last couple of years, but I think with strong support from IPG, which has always provided support in terms of building best-in-class communications agencies with strong values, we've all emerged in a much more powerful, stronger position. So thank you. Well, I also want to thank my client partners, some of which go back many, many years. And one in particular I want to give a shout out to is my dear friend, Dick Johnson, who was a retired communications officer at Ingersoll Rand Company. And Dick taught me early on in my career that empathy, respecting everybody's points of view, and good humor were all foundational to success in a business that's all about people. I also want to thank my longtime assistant, Carla Messina, who's been partnering with me for 30 years now. She's just been terrific and I think a big contributor to our success at the firm. And then I guess, of course, at the top of my thank you list is my wife, Maria. I met Maria many moons ago at Trenton State College, now the College of New Jersey. It's where I developed my passion for journalism and communications. And I'm certainly looking forward to all the adventures we'll have when I retire for the business from the business in June. And then finally, just want to also thank my boys, Jason and Steven, and their fiancés, Lauren and Charlotte, for all their love and support. So a lot to look forward to. And for now, I look forward to our chat, John. So back over to you.
Okay, well, I got questions for you. So since you did announce your retirement a few months ago, I imagine that you've already spent time reflecting on how communications has evolved since you started out in our field 38 years ago. So when it comes to communicating with integrity in the public space, what changes have you observed? Is it harder now, or has it always been hard?
Well, I think, certainly one does a lot of reflecting when one announces their retirement. We live in extraordinary times, and certainly the pace of change has been dramatic. The amount of information, the amount of misinformation, disinformation is striking. Sometimes it's hard to find the truth. But I think, to me, communicating with integrity, it comes back to core values, and I think that it cuts to the heart of what our business is all about. It's telling the truth, being authentic. That to me hasn't changed. That should always come naturally, regardless of what the environment is like or what business dynamics might be. So that's something that I've thought a lot about, sort of what's changed and what hasn't changed, right, in a fundamental sense. The second thing I would say is just the importance of relationships. And to me, the heart of what we do in the public relations profession, it does come down to relationships. And for many years at Weber Shandwick, we did a lot of research around civility and, sort of tracking what I was just talking about, just looking at this environment, and we've kind of lost our way a little bit, perhaps, it'd be fair to say. But I think, what we do as communications professionals is we can be conveners. We can bring people together. We can meet around a table and engage in conversation and solve problems. And I think that's become more important than ever, and will continue to be more important as we go forward. And the third thing I would just say is I just naturally reflect on what a wonderful profession this is. I know we have a lot of college students tuning in tonight, So I certainly wanted to say that. And we have some folks, I'm sure, from my alma mater, TCNJ. And I just think it's a great place, a great industry to build a career, especially if you're intellectually curious, if you want to make impact. We're looking for terrific young voices who have a strong moral compass and great communication skills to come into the profession. So look forward to, I hope, meeting some of you down the road.
Terrific. So I have a question from Jackie Jones, the Dean of the School of Global Journalism and Communication at Morgan State University. And she asks, what is the hardest ethical professional decision you've ever wrestled with?
Well, gosh, there are always hard decisions to make. And that's feels like every day. But, I think we naturally, we meet as a team and think about the kind of clients we represent, the nature of the work we do. But to me, the hardest decisions are always around people. And if you think about what we've all experienced over the last couple of years in the pandemic, I mean, some of our businesses were hit fairly dramatically. So, on one hand, it was a trying time, where we were trying to help our clients navigate all these unprecedented issues. But then naturally in our role as leaders and my responsibility and accountability was to make sure that our people, we were doing the best we could by our people when our business was impacted. How do we think about that from a mental health perspective? How do we understand the public health environment and make sure that we're creating a safe environment for our people? And that's also very complicated. We operate in all around the world where the public health situation was different. So it was certainly a lot of sleepless nights, and always trying to create the right balance, make sure we're appreciating what our people were going through, and again, try to be as supportive as we could while we were also balancing all the other issues one balances in a business.
I think we can try to slip in one more question. So you're trying to build an organization of service-oriented people who try really hard to give the clients what the clients are requesting. But how do you uphold integrity in that culture when you need to instill a mindset in your people as well that they need to push back when clients are displaying ethical lapses, poor judgment, or even bad intent? How do you teach folks to balance the two?
Well, I think you always have to remind folks of what the firm stands for and what our values are. And that's a 24/7 job in essence. We do a lot of ethics training. We share the work that we do around the world. So, certainly we're very proud that, we're often called upon to drive demand for our clients' products and services, help them manage a variety of different crisis-oriented issues they might be dealing with. There's so much of that, but at the same time, in our profession, we're consultants. We're engaged to provide a point of view, right? And so, if sometimes we have to be the voice in the room to remind our clients and people in our organization about making sure we're living by our values, right? And so, that's what our job is. We're in the point of view business, and we're engaged to help with that sort of counsel when called upon.
Terrific. Well, I think our time is up. So Andy, thank you so much. And again, congratulations.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.